a player last year. So, which Jose Ramirez? We had reports that he couldn't hit. He couldn't hit anything but a fastball. And look. So here's what Ramirez: 275 to 280, 25 to 30 homers, 30 stolen bases. He had in 2018. He was an MVP candidate, but the first 3 months of the season, he hit 214 with 5 home runs. Of course, he had 18 steals, but that's what you got. So there's a big risk in taking Ramirez. The second half, Ramirez hit 320 from July 1st until August 24th when he broke his hamate. And at 15 home runs, 6 stolen bases, 45 RBIs. Okay? So there you go. The injured hamate, the 2 different seasons, taking Ramirez is a real risk. And then as the team goes, so goes the player. Well, I have no idea what Cleveland's going to do this year. Absolutely none. In round 3, you had, let me pick out the play, Chris Sale, and we all know about Chris Sale. How risky is it to take with the shoulder? But once again, I'll remind you that he was extended for 5 years, and you got to take the position that the Red Sox would not have extended him without examining him fully and confident that he would pitch. All right, so that's just how I'm looking at it, okay? In round 4, Lucas Giolito was taken, and that gives Greg Ambrosius, Luis Giolito, and Chris Sale. Giolito, do you have confidence? And the White Sox this year are the team that so many people predict to be a surprise team in Major League Baseball. Giolito broke out last year, that we know. But what do we expect from Giolito? Look, I think he'll be good. I think he'll win you 15, 17, 18 games, 3.6 ERA, 1.1 WHIP, over 200 strikeouts. He did post the highest ERA among qualified starters in 2018. Then, all of a sudden, he spent the offseason changing his delivery, add a couple of more miles per hour to his fastball, had more spin to his curve and slider, reworked his whole arsenal, swinging strike rate of 15% compared to 8% the previous year. He improved everything. The question is, can he do it 2 years in a row? But with the White Sox presenting a better team, the problem here is about expectations. Last year, nothing was expected of Giolito. And sometimes players who have no expectations put on their shoulders, find it an easier way. When Giolito is expected to carry the White Sox into the playoffs, as some predict, wow, whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. Keston Hiura was taken by Jeff Erickson in the 4th round. And we got to talk about Keston Hiura. This, to me, was a bit of a reach. No question about it. He's going to play second base for Milwaukee. And all of a sudden, he's become a 290 hitter. He'll hit you 25 home runs and steal you 13 bases. Not a bad pick. Hit 19 homers last year, stole 9. So, look, he dominated AAA. Earned his free. He was up in mid-May when Travis Shaw was injured. And, look, he was tremendous. He was tremendous. So, here is defense. Won't hurt his value in most fantasy formats, but he could come out for defensive replacements, and his defensive flaws as an everyday player, boy, he's going to have to really hit. And also, when you're defensively challenged in the major leagues, leading to losing games, which could happen, it affects your offense. I'm a little afraid of Keston Hiura. I wonder if he can handle the offense. Okay? In round 5, Victor Robles with all his steals. You had Eloy Jimenez, who I think will be a top 5 player. Bo Bichette. DJ LeMahieu, who had such a great year last year. How many think that DJ LeMahieu can regain what he did last year? That's a tough one. And then, of course, you got all of a sudden everybody is really taking the position that Giancarlo Stanton is nothing. And with Stanton, he could hit 35 home runs and hit you 270 and get you 100 RBIs. But he was injury-free for 2 years, and then he returned to his old ways, major injuries to his bicep and knee, and that's it. He had nothing. He didn't have a season last year. So his stock has dropped considerably, no question about it, as we look at the draft. MJH importers, come on, baby, let's make a pick or two, okay? And we'll see. So Stanton goes there. Let's take a look and see if anybody has dropped. And Malpal says that Hura is going to win the batting title. Well, he's got the tools to do it. The question is, Brian Herr has made his appearance into the chat room. Thank you, Brian. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us, Brian Herr. Great guy, Brian. And we thank you. So Stanton was taken there. Now Clayton Kershaw dropped to round 5. We all have our feelings about Clayton Kershaw. Vladimir Guerrero went in round 5 as well. Interesting that Guerrero goes in round 5. Last year he went in round 2. Zach Wheeler was taken by Bender in round 6. And I take the position. Zach Wheeler, the fact that he's changing his pitch mix, being coached by Philadelphia, they're pointing it out. It's almost the same thing that happened to Garrett Cole. I predict Zach Wheeler round 6 would be a great pick for Howard Bender. Great pick. Okay? Moving right along. Trevor Bauer was taken in round 7 by the Fantastics' Anthony Perry. Anybody who wants to know anything about Trevor Bauer, just give me a call later in the day. I'll put you on with Andrea and have a good time. Okay? So there you go. Trevor Bauer. Let's take a look at those that may have fallen. Bauer was taken in round 7. And I'm just going to say about Bauer that and I'll say and I'll say Andy, so it wasn't just her, I expected him to have a big year last year. And I'm predicting for Bauer about a 3.5, 1.2, 230 strikeouts. I will tell you, he has been, he had that big tantrum. He just can't keep his head together. He had a 10-run start with Cincinnati. It was a disaster. He had a 6.3 ERA and a nearly 2 home run to 9 innings ratio. His ground ball percentage was down 7 percentage points. His walk rate ticked up, but Bauer continued to miss bats at a great clip. He finished 18th among qualified starters with almost a 28% swing and miss rate. Okay? So there you have it. 28%. I think Bauer's going to bounce back on a rejuvenated Cincinnati team. I'm happy to take Trevor Bauer in round 7. Others who may have fallen, Kenley Jansen has fallen to round 8. I really believe that Kenley Jansen, with Blake Trinan breathing down his neck, Kenley Jansen with his injuries may have seen the best of his career. I would hesitate to take any closer in the 8th round. You can sit back and you can take your closers later in the draft. Now, in our mock draft, I have 3 closers. 3 of them, or maybe 2. I took Hector Neris, Joe Jimenez, and I'll probably take another one, and that'll put me in the middle of the pack. Okay? middle of the pack. Neris, Jimenez, and these guys have absolutely easy to get. Easy to get. Denelson Lamet was taken. A lot of people think he's going to bounce back. Oscar Mercado, I say he's the real deal. Mitch Garver, who I took as a catcher in the mock draft. Last year, he shared at-bats, as I talked about yesterday. This year, he's going to get a lot more at-bats. They talk about him as a pure hitter. One of the interesting players taken in round 9 by Dr. Roto, Rhys Hoskins. First half he was tremendous, and he fell apart in the second half. I say he bounces back. And for Rhys Hoskins, I'm going to give you my projection on Rhys Hoskins. I will say that Rhys Hoskins will be a player absolutely worth taking for power, and he'll hit you 30 to 35 home runs. Could get you 95 RBIs. He'll hit you 240. That's the problem with Rhys Hoskins. Okay? He didn't have to play left field. He didn't have to carry the Phillies' offense. But his offensive performance took a step back big time last year. I say he could be. He did have a high walk rate, about 16%. And that gives me some encouragement. He wasn't going crazy, wasn't getting over anxious. I say Rhys Hoskins is a great bounce-back player, a player who could hit you 35 home runs, and here he is in the middle of the pack. So Hoskins I like. Lewis Robert, he was taken in round 9. Just goes to show you, if you want this guy, you're going to have to go out and get him. A couple other players, Gavin Lux went in round 10. If you want him, you got to get him. I like Max Fried, and I took him in the mock draft. He went in round 10. I think Max Fried is a huge bargain. That's right. I think Max Fried is a huge bargain. By the way, Neris went in round 10. I'd rather have Neris than Kenley Jansen. How about that? Rather have Neris than Kenley Jansen. Now, just let me give you, when I saw Max Fried in the Arizona Fall League, this guy impressed the hell out of me. With his composure, ability to pitch with men on base, and the whole thing. He had a strong spring last year. He broke camp as the 5th starter. He made 30 starts, 3 relief appearances, had 17 wins, had 173 strikeouts in 165 innings. And I'm going to tell you, based upon what I've heard and what I've seen, he's going to get better than that. Better than that. Better than that. Okay? And let's finish up just by saying, who else fell down? Byron Buxton went to round 11. I'm going to leave that to Andrea. Okay. Byron Buxton. Okay? I don't think so. I think Andy and I are off on Byron Buxton. Caleb Smith went in round 12. Okay. Yasiel Puig, who seems to have disappeared, he went in round 10. And he went in round 10. How about that one? Same round as Franmil Reyes. And that should just about do it. I'm going to put the link in the chat room as, okay, I'll put the link in the chat room. You can look it all over. And I think the rest of the draft is going to be a slow draft. I think that's what they did last year when everybody goes home. So there it is, putting the link. Here's the, Arnie's off on Buxton, so am I. Okay? And if you believe that, you got something else, all right? Buxton or Will Myers. That's a good one. All right. That's a great one. All right. Thanks, everybody. Arnie coming up right away. Brooks, Brian Hurth. Thank you so much, Greg and DK and Doug Boyle. Saturday, Kenny Flamia, King Hap, Malpal. Tito Luna has joined us. Good morning. Phil Chaplin tonight at 7 o'clock. Ray K, Kevin Hastings, Taco, Timothy My Hooker, Traveler, Unholy Toledo, White Sox Gal, and Zelmo. Love you all. Thanks, everybody. Arnie, coming up right away. In the chat room, you've got the link to the draft. Love you all, everybody.